I'm Mark Moskowitz, and today we're here with a 2018 Hyundai Kona. This is the Ultimate model. It's one of 4 levels of trim, an SE, an SEL, a Limited, and of course, again, the top of the line Ultimate. If you're looking for a mini crossover, or a subcompact crossover, or a subcompact SUV, the Hyundai deserves a look. Or better yet, the Hyundai demands a look. The stylists here were very, very busy. If you look at the car, there's a very large granite-colored grille. Above it is a faux intake vent. Below it is a real intake vent. There are pass-through vents on either side, and again, more honeycomb as a faux vent. There are 3 lights highlighting the side. It's really very busy, and the busyness transfers around to the sides. The black trim surrounds the wheel wells. It's almost 6 inches thick, and it transitions to the rocker panels where it's highlighted by a polished metal strip. Now, if you have a car in one of the darker colors, and these seem to populate the dealer's lots, Thunder Gray, Sonic Silver, or Ultra Black, this is a very elegant look. But if you color the car lime twist or pulse red, the colors seem to scream at you. I like this presentation much better. The Kona interior is best described as elegant but not opulent. There is leather, which comes standard on the Limited and Ultimate editions. You can have it in either black or gray. You can see the seats are perforated for adequate ventilation. They're not actively ventilated, but I found that the perforations allow plenty of ventilation on trips. Sitting inside, there's plenty of room in the footwells. I'm 5'10". I have plenty of headroom, plenty of width for my knees and hips, and I'm comfortably ensconced. I think somebody who's 6 foot tall or even taller would have no trouble driving this car, and while they're driving this car, it'd be quite easy to get in the back. Again, I find plenty of footroom and plenty of headroom. Nice tall top, but not a gainily tall top, and lots of headroom and more than enough room for a 6-footer to enjoy an evening out in the back of this car. Rear storage is easily accessed through this lift-up gate. There's a shelf up above to hide your possessions, and there's further hiding of your possessions under this lift-up shelf with a number of compartments for standard storage. The space is a little over 19 cubic feet, and it grows to 45.8 cubic feet when one folds those seats forward. There's a lot to focus on in the Kona interior. There's great functionality, great driving position. Everything is easy to access. There's a heads-up display. There is an 8-inch touchscreen, and the 8-inch touchscreen is positioned properly where you'd expect it, on top of the dash, so you can easily see it with taking your eyes off the road quite minimally for access. You can see there is an excellent colorful touch screen. It can be split, or you can have a complete screen view, all the functionality, any number of options are available to you. You can look at the spaces in this interior. There's a sunglass space. There is cup holders. There is a large, very large console, and of course the standard dash. There is indoor storage on each side, and very cool, there is a charging station that comes standard in the Ultimate, and it fits the very, very largest cell phone, which is just ideal. If you're zipping around the corners, which the Hyundai Kona encourages you to do, this will stay still and won't fly out. Any number of other things are kind of interesting. If you look there, it does have blind spot warning. It does have lane keep assist. multifunctionality on the steering wheel. There is cruise control. Even in this top-end model, there is not adaptive cruise control. There are heated seats, and there's hill assist. Up front in this compartment, there is actually another shelf where you can put your second phone if you desire, or also there is access for USB for input, auxiliary input, and 12-volt power outputs. You can see there's a button for drive modes, that there's a sport and a standard mode, there is seat heaters, and there is hill descent assist. Hyundais come in 4 trims. There's the base SE, the SEL, the Limited, and what we're driving today, the Ultimate. The Ultimate is front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive model. The front-wheel drive model gets a little bit better gas mileage. Hyundais are favorably priced. The base model starts at about $19,000, and prices increase all the way up to the Ultimate, which goes for about $26,400. For about $1,300 more in any of the trims, you can have all-wheel drive. I think all of them represent a certain value. There are many, many features on our Ultimate. Standard include lane keep assist and forward collision avoidance, something that I'm sure in years to come will be standard on all cars. In fact, some lower end cars are offering them as standard now. Hyundais are an absolute joy to drive. This Kona will zip around the parking lot very quickly, and as you drive around this parking lot, the steering is quite light, easy to maneuver, and of course its size gets it in and out of the small spaces without any difficulty. It's equipped with 2 different power plants. The base models have a 147 horsepower inline 4-cylinder, but with the Limited and the Ultimate models, power bumps up to a very generous 175 horsepower, and the torque seems to extend throughout the range. It's a joyous experience. There are 2 different modes. There is a standard mode and a sport mode. Of course, this changes the shifting curve, makes it a lot more spunky. It also seems to affect the steering a little bit. I found the steering somewhat around 40 to 60 miles an hour to be just a little bit heavier than I'd like. There seems to be a little bit more artificial resistance than one would like. Other than that, fabulous to drive. It handles extremely well. There are actually 2 suspension systems in the Kona. The first is the standard twist rear torque bar, but with the all-wheel drive in the upper models, it comes a multi-link rear suspension. I will tell you that both of them show extremely good characteristics. The car has excellent road manners, whether you're going slow or whether you're choosing to zip along a little bit. Again, for what's considered a luxury car rather than a sports sedan, this car has fabulous handling. The tires are very grippy. It goes around corners well. It's predictable. Just absolute fun to drive. Kona's excellent road manners. In fact, it almost seems, rather than a small crossover, to be a small sports sedan. It handles extremely well. There are 2 different handling packages. Base models and non-all-wheel drive models come with a torque beam rear suspension, which is pretty standard for the Hyundai. However, if you move up to all-wheel drive, it's a very sophisticated multi-link rear suspension. But as I said, in either case, the car handles extremely well. There are two modes. There is a regular mode and, of course, a sports mode, which changes your shift points and really makes it, again, a lot of fun to drive. There are two different power plants, 147 horsepower inline 4, and, of course, the Limited and the Ultimate have a whopping 175 horsepower with a lot of torque throughout its range. Again, the Kona is a great amount of fun to drive. As I said, it handles extremely well going around curves very predictably, testing its limits very predictably. I very much enjoy driving the car. If I had one complaint, it's the resistance or hardness of the steering. It seems to provide a little bit more resistance than one might otherwise desire. Some of the neat features of the Hyundai are, of course, its 8-inch touchscreen, very easy to see while you're driving along, easy to keep your eyes focused on the road and focused on that touchscreen when you need to be. And of course, even another auxiliary is this heads-up display. They just warned me to avoid blind spots before changing lanes, but there is an automatic blind spot warning. The heads-up display is fantastic. It'll show you your speed and other things. It'll show you the speed limit of the posted roads. But one concern, if you sit a little bit tall, you can cut off that view. Very fine for a 5'10" driver sitting low in the seat, but for somebody a little bit taller or somebody who tends to want to sit high, it does seem to cut off some of that view. There's more than enough headroom, despite the presence of a large sunroof. And there's more than enough room in the footwells. You'll notice that when I drive, my legs fall apart, they're relaxed, and on neither side are they hitting the console or the door panel. Very comfortable for a long trip. The seats are very supportive. There are small side bolsters, but they're not so tight as to squeeze you and cause you discomfort over the long haul. In closing, the Hyundai Kona is a great subcompact SUV or crossover subcompact, which offers a tremendous amount of value for the money. It can be had in trims from the SE, which starts at $19,000, all the way up to the all-wheel drive Ultimate Kona, which can be had for less than $30,000. The car is attractive, especially in thunder gray or black, ultra black. It does tall extremely well, and it seems to be bigger in the inside than the outside would suggest. It offers a 100,000-mile warranty and a very spirited driving performance, especially with the 175 horsepower power plant. I strongly recommend this car, and I would like to thank Keith Hawthorne for the use of his Hyundai Kona.